All right, all you devils out there, happy Friday. Sam here with you on the 10th of September here, coming up on 1 o'clock. Yeah, I'm a touch behind schedule today. I try and start around noon, but I've got a few different counts to look at here. I try and organize it here so I don't struggle going back and forth. But we got multiple counts to look at, multiple time frames here. Bitcoin, of course, a little bit of a reveal here as I look at this. With that little sell-off that we had, we're starting to get a picture of what's coming. It's just just a terrible tease, right? Just one layer removed, but you can't really see what's underneath yet. So I would tell you, while we're going to look at some alternates to deal with the potential that the pivot low is in, right? That we're in at 20. Well, shit, what was it? Call it 29. That the low is in. And we're off to challenge the all-time highs, which certainly we can't eliminate that possibility. Truth be told, my primary count's unchanged. I don't see nothing that's happened here would dissuade me from that count. Now I'm going to show it to you in MotiveWave just because I have it teed up here, and I've been using MotiveWave a little bit lately. Just a reminder. Oh, God, I've been using MotiveWave since 2009. I think I've mentioned that in the last couple of vids as I've started to work with this more, or at least introduce it a bit more here. This is really about as sophisticated a package, certainly for an Elliott Wave trader, although it's not just Elliott Wave. There's everything from order flow to very advanced scan tools, harmonics. I mean, anything and everything you could want in a TA package is in MotiveWave. Now, there's a lot of horsepower there, and you don't necessarily need all of it. But, since I'm introducing it here, and I do have a relationship with them, if you're interested, right, they do have a very, very nice 14-day trial that you can check out. And, here. So if I come over here, so you can take a 14-day trial. And then the way they price it is interesting. So because there's so much to it, you don't need, if you're not an order flow trader, you don't need the order flow module. Right? Oh, if I come up here. You consider some of this. I mean, I have the ultimate, but it's a slightly different situation for me. The Elliott Wave Lite, quite good. Right? So you would want to go through all of this and see which of these would be essential to you. I mean, there's so much to pick from. But also, right, we don't shill that often, but if you want to support the channel, if you're not a member and this interests you and you want to support the channel, well, you could use our link that's under. We get a little kicker off of that if you pursue it. It's in our link tree, and that would bring you over here through our link, and then you could go to the free trial, try it out for 14 days. Right? I mean, that's pretty generous trial for 14 days. So keep that in mind. This is really powerful software. Let's come back over here. Let's come over here, and I'm going to finish up here. So, I mean, this is one of the things I like about it. So the idea being that if the 3 is in, let me see if I do it this way. This might make it a little bit easier here if I highlight the triangle. So we'd have to call this an ABC. It's a little tricky to get it done here, and I want to give her credit, right, because I was struggling with this myself. Another very solid Elliottian. I want to say it's Laura. I want to say Iriarty. I don't. You can find her at Pure Elliott Wave. Happy to give her a little referral for what that's worth. She has a very reasonably priced membership as well. She's an absolute purist. I'm not such a purist, so her work interests me because I'm kind of curious how she's looking at it. She's the one who led me into the ABC here, so I want to give her credit. I struggled to find a count here that worked. To do it, you have to truncate the fifth here. All right, so with that credit given, I still like this here. Now, so I still prefer the idea that we're going to stay range bound here. So the triangle supports that idea. So if I highlight it here, one of the nice things about MotiveWave here, I can just look at this and say, okay, well, if the B is in, and if we are going to get a triangle, which is, it's a lot to project when you don't really even know if this is our high, right? You're projecting the C, the D, and the E, and we don't, we can't even confirm the B yet. I mean, although it looks like a good candidate. So if I do this and I say, okay, well, where's the most likely locations historically for a C to pivot relative to the A, B, and I get these little highlighted marks here, so in time. So for example, I can go up here, let's see if I do it this way. So I can go to this and I can say in time analysis, give me the highlights from C to the A. All right, so in a triangle, we'd look at the relationship from the length of the A for the C, and I know the 382 and the 618 are the highest probability time locations, and then I also get the most probable location for the C relative to the A. So if you'd be taking the length of the A, projecting from the B, and you'd be looking for 618 of that. So for that to come in here somewhere between the 38 and the 618 in time, well, you can see how that might, well, I got to click at this one. You can see how that might play nicely. And the same thing up for the D, right? So prior resistance, right? Potentially now if this is going to hold as support. You can see how that would all play out, and it implies finishing the 4th out here towards the end of the year, and then we would carry on. And all of that fits in nicely with the count that we've been looking at. Oh God, what am I on? I'm on a daily up. So if I squish this back here, and then, yeah, that's too much. There we go. So 1, 2, 3 is in. We're working on 4, and still the thought is once we get this 4, assuming, right, we don't know, but right now this is my primary. If we hold the triangle 4 and come in towards the end of the year, then free to fly. Just some of the really nice features here. But it's just the benefit of this is not to go, okay, show me the Elliott count. There are times where it's so obvious, it's just quick. You can say, okay, subdivide it into a 3. I mean, that's powerful, but you don't want to assume. Often, I disagree with what it'll put up, but it's a real time saver. So, and then that kind of convenience of just right click, show me the highest probability for the C, show me those locations. It's just if you're analyzing a lot of markets, as I do, right? Not just for my own trading, but because of the membership. And I'm dealing with so many members, hundreds of people, looking for input. This is just a real time saver, right? So for that price point here, oh shit, I think what's that? Oh, I think it's 89. Oh God, what did I just? Shit, I just lost it. For Elliott, the Elliott Wave Lite at $89 a month. I mean, that's pretty reasonable. So something to keep in mind. With that said, okay, so you know this is my primary. All right, so it remains to be seen. There's not enough yet in that sell-off we had to really confirm the high. Right? It's been an ugly, slow grind higher, very quick, abrupt sell-off here. Is that enough? Well, again, it's a tease, is what it is, right? But the benefit, I think, is that we're the next pivot should give us more to lean into, get a little more confidence in what's likely to come next. All we've done right so far is just kind of challenge the obvious support. We challenged the obvious resistance. Now we're about to challenge the obvious support. As to how we react there and which side breaks, I think will be very revealing, and that will allow us to kind of lean into the alternates if that's where we're headed, and we're not going to end up with a triangle. Right? It's certainly possible. So I thought I'd give you a couple of counts we haven't done since I've just beaten that prior count with my primary over and over, and not enough has changed. I thought we'd look at this here. Look at a couple of counts. Let's go out to the daily. This is an alternate. It's interesting. This is a count that we were talking about. Actually, I guess in reality, right? I was talking about here on these videos. Prior to, see, I still, this 5 here is so hard for me to reconcile as something other than a 5, even though in my primary count, right, via Laura's work, to squish that in, to truncate the 5, get to the B. Now it gets it done, right? So what this does is it lets you take advantage of the 1, 2, 3, which I think is hard to ignore. But you get it done here, but I don't love it, right? So, but you're not always going to love the Elliott count. Does it get it done? Yeah. Is it what I really see there? It's so hard to argue with this 5. The 1, the 2, right? The big 3, the sideways 4 as we go into a range, and then the last drive down. I want to use that 5, right? But if forced to, I mean, that's just the reality of trading. You don't always get the perfect count that you're looking for. Well, this is an alternate here, and we had looked at this. So part of the thinking was that this played so well as an ending diagonal that the ending diagonal followed by the 5, right? It had me move away from this count. And it's not my primary, right? So I just showed you my primary. Well, of course, I go back and forth with my senseis here and some of my very skilled members. God, I've got members that are show me things, right? So I mean, I've got a really talented group here. So the count here that is getting traction here, so as there is a very strong sentiment here that the low is in, right? And we are not coming back down here. And even with a triangle, right? If this is a B, C, D, E, the implication is not we're back down to challenge 29. Now, through this entire grind higher, I just feel like I have to remind people based on so many comments that I get. I am long as I've been accumulating Bitcoin since early of 2017. We accept payment in Bitcoin. My business runs on Bitcoin. I had a lot of comments. You're missing the whole move. Come on, man. You're missing the whole thing. Well, I'm not missing anything, right? So I mean, it's tempting, right? After that little sell-off, it's really tempting to just call out some of the dickwads and putting nasty comments underneath my videos. I shouldn't say it that way. But, it's really tempting to call them out individually, right, after that. And all I was saying the whole time was, well, I would consider this a higher risk time to be adding, so I'm not going to be adding, right? But I didn't miss. My portfolio ebbs and flows with Bitcoin just like anyone else who's a long-term hodler who's been accumulating for long-term, right? So I remain, and I mean, it maybe Michael Saylor, Pompliano, I don't know, Draper, right? I mean, a few people, amongst educators, I'm about as bullish as you're going to find. But I'm not recklessly bullish, right? I try and teach and trade with precision. So as this was all pushing forward, my whole premise was not that we couldn't go higher. It's just that this was not an area where I was going to be adding to my current very large portfolio of holdings of Bitcoin. I was not going to add on this because I didn't see it, right? It didn't work for me. Now, it could be that I end up being wrong here, right? So, I mean, if we do this, right? If you're long a shitload of Bitcoin, are you sad about that, right? I would not be sad about that. Strategically, I think there's a better opportunity to be an aggressive buyer lower, right, based on the TA. But guys, I'm not missing anything. All right, so for all of you, interestingly, they always come back. Right, they always come back. I always want to say, well, if you don't like the fucking analysis, why the hell do you keep coming back and watching it, and shit posting on it? They never miss a chance to do it, right? So as we were grinding higher, now, but I digress here. I shouldn't really dwell on that. Let's look at this count because there's some interesting similarities between if this is the top here and what we've just done there. What's the best way to do? I guess the best way is to just draw it here. So we can finish the fifth here. Right? So so we go 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. So that was originally when we were going through all of this. Excuse me. That was the count that I preferred until that big 5. So to get this done, it would be 1, 2. We'd complete the internal impulse here. So we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's technical as hell, right? And this is a really clean finish here. So to get this to be our fourth here, you'd have to do it like this. You'd have to do an A, expand the B, and then we come down and we get to use that 5. Right? So it's A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, all that nice sweet 5 that's in there that I'm dying to use because it's hard to look at it and not see the 5. Well, let's consider that, right? I mean, there's no reason why that couldn't be it, right? Now, it's a little bit, short A, expand the B, but it certainly works. Now, there's a little TA in here in terms of swing relationships that is worth acknowledging here as this as being a technical low. So, excuse me, right off the bat, well, if you're trying to identify this pivot and you're going to work with this as the proposed 2 low, and that is the proposed 3 high here. Oh, let me dial that in. Let's get right on it. Okay, so here's our 2. So we go 1 and we have to go A, B, and we go sideways into a 2. So we get a running flat here, which you don't love as a 2 because it looks awfully close to a triangle, and we know we can't have a triangle in the second, but that's such a clear 3, you're kind of forced into it if you're going to play this count, right? So the alternate is that the 1 is here, right? And then we complete it, right? That's what we've been looking at, and per my primary, that's what you've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shit, I did it too big again. All right, but you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's the primary. But primaries, right, get blown out all the time, right? So you have to be prepared for the alternate. Here's the alternate. In fact, one of my lead senseis, Sensei Tudum, who, by the way, is a level 2, he's a better Elliottian than I am. He's a level 2 certified Elliottian. He much prefers this count. He and I go back and forth with this, but there's a couple of things that have happened here that I think are worth noting here that allows us to lean into this. And of course, now eventually I'm going to get to where's the opportunity, which again, as we've been going higher, I haven't been giving you, well, I think this is a good time to be a buy. And I certainly was not suggesting a sell because I almost never sell Bitcoin. I should rephrase that. I never short Bitcoin, right? It's just not, I don't want to be rooting for it to go down. But if this is going to hold and we're going to end up with this, right, which is what, as I emphasized, right, it's all the market ever does is swing, retrace, and then one side breaks, right? Either this side is going to break or that side is going to break, but that's what we're looking at here. Now, per the triangle, we could go sideways before we get that pivot break, right? But my bias certainly is to the bullish side. All right, but so what I was trying to get to, now, if you look at this here, you know, I had this thought, you know, just looking around other space here. You know, if you take the Elliott wave out of it, right, and just look at this, you know, this would be so much easier, wouldn't it? Right? If you look at that and you go, oh, shit, man, why am I grinding through all of these fucking rules and guidelines, and why have to do all this bullshit? I see so many posts on Twitter where it's just like, hey, there's your support, there's your resistance. There you go, right? So it comes down here, I'm buying, comes up here, I'm selling. Right? You didn't have to memorize anything. You didn't have to, shit, you barely had to learn anything. You had to know how to recognize a pivot and draw a line. All right, so I understand the appeal to that. All right, so why not do that? See, for me, what I'm trying to do when I'm trading and what I'm trying to teach is how to trade with as high a level of precision as we possibly can, knowing that we're going to get it wrong more often than not, right? So and it seems counterintuitive. Why are you working through all that precision? Why are you working so fucking hard to get to that precise point when you could just draw some fucking lines? Why not do it that way? You know, that's your individual choice, right? I mean, I'm assuming, right, at this point, if somebody's watching that, well, obviously members, right, and you guys are all I'm assuming would be in alignment with me. But for the broader space, or those people that are casual Elliott, I know they've occasionally, if it's in their face, well, let's see if we can apply some Elliott to that. To the casual observer, why go through all this, right? I see, to me, it's just a matter of, it's combination. It's part because I believe I can solve the puzzle, right? So if I didn't think I could, I would just do this. Fuck the Elliott, right? I would just draw some boxes, draw a few lines. Hey, there's a fib. We made a 50. We made a 38. So what's the big deal? Why would you dig through all of this shit down here and go, God damn it, I can't get a 1 out of that. Well, fuck, it's a 3. Well, why not just call it a 1? Let's just call it a 1-2. 1-2. That's so much easier. Why not just do that? Well, you got to make that decision for yourself, ultimately, right? As to why you would grind through all the alternates of what could be going on here. What, how many different corrections do I have? 24, and I got to memorize those, and that's what I need to do to be successful? No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just if you choose the Elliott Road as your foundation and how you organize the chaos here, because otherwise it's just all, it's a bunch of fucking lines. If you choose that, then what you're trying to do is get just the most technical confluence you possibly can at any one single pivot to give you more confidence in taking that trade. And in doing that, reduce the risk. Because otherwise, just draw some lines, man. What's the big deal, right? Put a moving average on. Oh, hey, wait, shit, fuck, we're above the. That's this Vegas wave. I heard something about that. Okay, above the Vegas wave, bullish. Below, we're bearish. Hey, look at that. We were up again. And where did we retrace? Right to the Vegas wave. I mean, right to it. So why go through all of the hassle of dealing with this? Well, again, I'm going to show you why I do it, why I teach it. If I didn't think it would help you and give you more precision, there would be nothing on here but a few lines. So you got to make that decision, because otherwise, this is it's just an exercise in futility, right? So because right? So often you're going to change your counts. Often what you thought was going to happen doesn't happen. What you didn't think was going to happen does happen. So again, you're either drawn to it or you're repelled by it. There is no shortage of people that will show you a much, much easier way to trade the market. And if they're doing it successfully, right, more power to them. It's just not how I do it. It's not what I teach. It's not what we teach at Trade Devils University. All that said, right, I got kind of long-winded there. I don't always mean to do that, but it just comes over me. All right, so this is kind of interesting. All right, so I'm going to hide this because this right, needs to be acknowledged. If this is our 3, if this is A and this is B and this is C, well, to lean into that, okay, I got a 38 and I'm at a prior support zone. All right, you'd think that would be enough already, but for me, that's not enough by itself. I need more swing relationships. Well, if this is the, well, let's label it. All right, if this is the A and this is the B and this is going to hold as my C, right? I want to see more than that. I want to see if there's a relationship because I know there's a reasonable probability that the A, the B, and the C are going to be related by a fib swing relationship. I'm already looking at this swing, right? If this is the top, and I've expanded the B, well, lo and behold, what do I got? All right, I'm right to the 38. Where's the highest probability location for a wave 4, right? Between the 38 and the 23.6, right? That's 38 to the tick, right? And right in line with the prior 3-4, right down a degree, the prior 3-4, that's your target, right? I mean, it's just you start stacking, right? I'm stacking technical confluence. Well, lo and behold, take a look here. Now, note, I am in log scale, right? So if you're trying to replicate this, you got to do it in log scale. If I take the length of the A and I project it from that B, look what I get right down here. That's too, well, shit, it's damn near to the tick. It's within a tick or two if I'm right on that, on there. Well, as you see it, oh shit, I had it saved, and it's damn near, it's within a tick or two of the 2618. So if I bring this over here so you can see it a little better. All right, so now note what we get here. I'm at the prior support zone right here of the 3-4. I'm at the 38 from the 2 through the 3. I'm at the 2618. So this relationship, the length of this A, well, god damn, I can get it off of here. The length of this A wave here, projected from this B wave, is 2618, the length of the A, right? Shit that doesn't happen randomly. It just doesn't. So all of the ingredients are here per this count for this to come off here. Now, it was, all right, so typical of Bitcoin. The 1-2 is just it's just a fucker, right? So because it's such a clear 3. So you're forced to, if you're going to, well, let me zoom in there. See, if you don't give a shit about Elliott Wave, right, and the rules and the guidelines here, then wouldn't it be easier to just go, hey, 1, 2, some sort of, looks, it's bigger. Hey, let's call that the 3. Oh, okay, maybe 4. All right, well, isn't that easier? Yeah, it's much easier. Much easier. But if you're an Elliottician and you're going to commit to it, right, because you can't kind of play Elliott ball. You're either all in or you're all out, right? Because otherwise you're just fooling yourself, right? If you don't maintain the discipline, you don't get the benefit from it. So you can't do, oh, fuck, it's a 3. Well, oh, fuck, I'll just call it 1, 2, right? You just can't do it. I mean, it's not just a rule break. It's a guideline break. Everything you can do. So how do you solve the problem? Well, of course, we've looked at this. You'd have to do it 1 there. You'd have to go A, expand the B, just as we did at the top, and then put that into your 2, right? So you got to go 1, A, B, C into the 2. Now, and then it gets even tougher coming through here because it's not that clean, simple, oh, this is what I prefer, right? I want this, 1, 2, oh, there's the big 3. Give me my little sideways here. That's what we want, right? But Bitcoin rarely gives you that. Now you can say, well, that's a different animal. It doesn't move off of this. It moves off of chain dynamic, the on-chain metrics, right? And then that's certainly true. These people, hang on. To those of you out there saying, well, Elliott Wave doesn't work in Bitcoin. It doesn't work in crypto. I don't think you understand what Elliott Wave is measuring, if that's still what you're thinking, right? It's not about, this is not measuring. It seems counterintuitive, right? It's not just the wave relationships. This is crowd behavior, That's what Elliott is measuring, looking at, trying to identify. What does the herd do? Right? Can we see evidence of fear and greed in the market? Because when we do, because human beings tend to act with that group mentality, they leave footprints, they leave patterns. Thus, the 5s and the 3s. Right? That's always so. If you think, oh well, Elliott Wave, I get this comment a lot, right, from subs. Oh, Elliott Wave doesn't work in crypto, doesn't work with Bitcoin. You don't understand Elliott Wave if you're saying that, right? So better for you to just abandon it, right? You shouldn't be watching here, right? So because all of this Elliott that I'm going through here, you don't understand the foundation of it. So perhaps another channel for you. Okay, not to digress too much. So we've got that 2618 down here. So you're stuck with this fucker, right? So you want to go 1, 2. So you got to do it. Now, is that your 3? Right? Because this, right, we looked at this, it gets kind of gnarly. So if you're going with that count, here, let's label it up. You'd have to go 1, 2. Now, is that the 3? 3? Right? It would work, right? We don't overlap the 1. Right? So it actually plays a little bit better to do it here. Right? Because this, you don't get a clean finish. Oh, shit, I've got it. Oh, hang on here. This is what I was trying to organize. Oh, God, do I want it here? I think I've got it. Hang on. I'll find it. Oh, here, I'll finish up over here. Maybe I've got it. Jesus, this is why I'm behind schedule, because I was trying to do this, and now here I'm struggling with it as it is. Okay. See this. Okay, this will work. So it's in green here. Oh, I'll raise that up a degree so you can see it better. Right. So here's the 1. Right. So we have to go A. Oh, this. You could do it a couple of different ways. I think you could work a triangle here into the B. Although one of my commenters, I should say, who I like, right? I can't remember his handle. Allied Master Computer, something like that. Thoughtful comments, right? And I like the guy because he busts me if I get something wrong, right? So those kind of comments I love, right? The guy who people just shitting on I don't know why you're watching. But this, I do think I can squeeze the triangle here. You know why? Because I ran it through MotiveWave. And if you label something incorrectly that's a rule or a guideline, it'll flag it. All right, so I do think you can get through the B here, down for the C. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, could be the 1, could be the A, right? So per my count, if this is going to hold as corrective, it's an A, B, C. If you think the low is in, it's 1, 2. Well, this could be 3, 4, and we put in the pivot here. We're going to look at that in a second here. Oh, that's really not the one I wanted here, but let's do it over here. I'm losing it a little bit on where I was. All right. So for bulls that are just convinced the low is in, right? Well, could be, right? So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can see the impulse in there. It's not a beautiful. The ABC is a little gnarly in there, but you're kind of stuck with it, right? Sometimes you just have to work with what the market gives you here. Now note here we see the Vegas wave flipping here. I'm on an 8-hour, but this the swing relationship plays better to complete up here. So I can complete this. I got to do this as well. Fuck it. You have to go 1, 2, 3. There's your 4, and then you're into the 5. What do you do with that last little kick here, which, by the way, broke the golden zone, right? So every bulls still have the advantage because we broke the golden zone from the top. I'll circle back there in a second. Well, if this is the top, and I've got to do this, if this is going to hold here as a low, well, can I deal with it? Well, yeah, I could, right? Same way I dealt with the prior top. Now look at this. Because, again, these are things that do not happen randomly. Right? We just looked at this, right? The length of the A projected from the B. Right? Here's my 2618. Now let's do the same thing over here. Open this up a little bit. There's the A. There's the B. Oh, let me get that right on there. A to the low there to the pivot here. Pretty damn close, right? Pretty damn close, right? Looks similar. And if this has one more kick down, well, look where the 2618 is. Down to a 4. Let me see that a little bit better. Okay, well, for this to hold, which I'm not sure that that's our low here, but if we're gonna roll over here, we'd have to complete the 5 here. Doesn't look like that's quite done. So I'm kind of interested in pushing that over a little bit for us to maintain that same pattern. Because while this is, just a waterfall, right? You don't. It's really the subdivision here. What you can see is the giant wick rejection. So if I take this off, now acknowledging this is a reasonable target, if we were just going to reject and kick out of here, well, if the C was in here, you'd have to just call this your free fall. Well, this sure does look like the making. So if you could see, well, okay, 1, 2, right, this sure is starting to look like a 4. I mean, the 2 is, on a 4 hour here, you're going to have to dig a little 1, 2 out of there, but that being impulsive sure looks like your 3. Now, here's what's not coming out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least not yet. This is an awfully ugly start. Now we're sitting here just basing, right? The market is resting. Kind of, okay, all right, well, that was dramatic, right? So we've got all of this, right? Market completely freaked out, then quickly rejected. So you might have thought, okay, right, buy the dip, great. Now we go sideways here. That's not a great start. As much a bull as I am, that's not the kind of start where you'd say, low is in, let's buy it. Again, if you're trying to trade with technical precision, if you don't give a shit, okay, man, it's on sale, let's buy it. Right, if you're long term and all you really care about is where's it going to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, well, you got a little discount. But that's not how I approach it, and that's not what we teach, right? So for this to pivot to be in, well, I'm going to look for a cleaner finish here. Well, you'd have to do A, B, C to get you that B. It kind of looks like it wants to come down here and finish because this looks, it's certainly not the, doesn't look like the start of, so I should be careful how I say it. Certainly nothing says, right? There's no reason that couldn't just blow out of here, right? We found this support, we based here, we tested all of this, now we blast off over the weekend. It just doesn't, would you buy that? I wouldn't. If I'm trying to, now if it does that, am I sad? Again, no, I'm not sad. But I'd much prefer it down here. Or even still, right? I love the triangle finishing down here in the 32 to 34-ish range, right? So that right, and then this would likely be 1, 2. We'd have a bigger cell. Well, pardon me. If it's going to be a triangle, we'd have a 3, right? So we'd have some. Never the first. All right, so we'd have some sort of a A, B, C to give us the C, A, B, C to give us the D, A, B, C to give us the E, right? Something like that would be coming. But right now, you're just trying to finish this, right? Could that be done? Because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this, if you're strict about rules and guidelines, you're fucking stuck with that, right? As much shitty as it is. Now, you could, right, the alternate would you do it this way. Say, okay, I finished the 5 here. And now I've gone 1, pardon me. So I finished the 5 here, and it's 1, 2, right? We looked at that, right? Okay, 1, 2, Jesus, the 4 to the 2, right? It just looks all wrong, right? I don't like it, right? So because of that, right, I was kind of using this last week, right? It just doesn't look right. 1, 2, right? The 2 is going to take that. It doesn't look right. I much prefer this. I much prefer this, right? Even still, right? At least I get a 3 here. At least the 2 and the 4 are not so dramatic, right? You'd call that essentially sideways and that sharp. Again, don't expect Elliott to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. A, B, maybe it's here, right? 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? So this is the one we're looking at. Could that do it? That's not a great start, but we are basing, right? You can see what's happening, right? As we sit here, right? And the volume node starts to be created as business gets done here, right? Buyers and sellers all fat and happy, right? We're nice high volume node here, but don't be surprised if that's got another kick down to it because that's not the look. That certainly doesn't look like a good start to anything. It looks like it's just breathing. Like we had the waterfall. All right, let's swim around in the pond a little bit here and see if we want to get out of this. But right now you're just kind of consolidating. You don't know. Right, so one side is going to break out of here. I'd much prefer, right? If you're bullish and you're looking for a place to buy, I much prefer it here where I don't know what the hell's coming out of there, right? That could go. You got no help from indicators. Okay, well, we got overdone here on the sell-off. OBV, all right, you're sideways. you don't, there's no help here, right? I go here last, right, as you know. Confirmation, right, not for entry. Does the pattern make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Maybe, right? So I'd be waiting here. Now, there's a few things that are happening in here. God damn, I'm already at 34 minutes. Okay, there's a few things happening in here to look at, right? So let's let me come back over here. Per the preferred count, right? So pardon me. Damn it, hang on. For the scenario here that the 4 is in, if this is going to be 1, 2, 3, oh shit, hang on. This has to go over here. If this is A, B, C, right? So one candidate would be a W, or, well, it could go a couple of different ways here. But so if we hold this as an ABC, right? So one possibility, hey, it's a W, right? Because if this is going to be, right, and here it is again, right? So if this is going to be A, B, C, right? That would be our X, right? So W, X, right? Could be. Right, could be part of the triangle as well. And then this would be A, this would be B, C, D, E, right? All of that's still coming, right? There's a lot of possibilities here because this, like I said, this is, okay, got your top off, but I can't see anything underneath that. But I can see, potentially I'm really going to like it. Now, all I've done here is just wick off the support and resistance here. So here's this long consolidation here we've gone through, right, with the complexity of this. Here's the obvious. I mean, amazingly, right? We went right up to the obvious resistance. Now it did, right, as I need to acknowledge here, if I take this out of log here, right, this is not insignificant, right? So we broke through the golden zone, right? We broke through, not by much, all right, but just enough to give the advantage bulls, right? That's enough of a break, right? So that the algo here, right, the sell side algo is broken. Right, so the only way you pick up another sell side algo, and it wouldn't have that same target. Look at the target down here is 19, right? So this algo is broken, right? So you wouldn't, so you can essentially take it off. Oh shit, wrong one. This one, you can take it off, right? That algo is not in play anymore. Where's the next sell side algo, right? They'll wait for the next, right? That's got a target right there. Right now, it's got third targets lower. If this turns into a 1, 2, 3, or something like that, or if this is A, B, and we've got another kick here to go up and challenge that golden zone, well, here you can see how that could happen, right? Nice big high volume node right here because we spent so much time. If this is going to kick a little, well, shit, you could bring it. Well, let's not forget the 50. You come back up here into this little pocket. So, right, you can see if it's going to be a triangle, right? A, B, maybe we come down C, right? We get that, right? I mean, certainly could go lower. We could come down here, right? And then we're right all into the triangle. Or again, we're very early in the triangle to be projecting the C, the D, and the E. But we got something that's happened here technically. Now, all I've done is take the swing low to the swing high here, and here's the 50% right here, the blue line, right? So I'm just using the wolf range, right? Here's our upper targets all up here. So I'm just splitting the range. Okay, so this is interesting. Now, so if we're going to come back down, and here's the, again, it's pretty remarkable how consistent it is. All right, so here's the obvious technical per price action resistance. Boom, we tag it. Now we come back down, right? We're tagging this. You can finish this. You can get A, B, and you can finish the C. Now, if you do that, let's open it up a little bit, see how we do that, because we were just looking at it in the context of an impulse. If this completes the A here, because we can do it, 1, 2, you got to live with the disproportion here between the length of time of the 2 and the 4, right? So that's, of course, I mean, you wouldn't choose that, but that's what the market's giving you. As a matter of fact, it looks like you'd have to do it this way to get an A, B, C out of that, and then A, B, C into the 5, right? So if it's gonna, pardon me. So if we go, oh shit, we'd have to do it this way. Pardon me. So we'd have to do 1, 2, 3. God, I'm looking for a way to solve that 4, but it's no better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? To finish the impulse here, right? Because it's not a diagonal. 1, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We overlap the 1 up for the 5. That would give us the A, right? And you're stuck with the shitty 4 relative to the 2, right? I know Elliottian purists, right? That's not what we want, but that's what we got here per this count, because I can finish it here from here. I can go into the B. I can go 1, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C to give me the candidate up here for the Well, it remains to be seen what it's going to be. Right now, I've got an ABC that can complete here. I can get it done. This is a little ugly, but I can get it done. And right in this nice channel kind of plays ball here. I'm just working off of these pivots to get this pivot, to get this pivot, and I've got a nice little channel coming in here. Okay, so not bad. I can't identify what this is yet. It's incomplete, right? It's only par baked, right? This has to resolve one side or the other before I can put a label on that. All I know is that the correction that was inevitable, right? I mean, everything corrects, even Bitcoin. This is the start of a tell, right? It's the first leg of a tell, right? So what comes next then we can start to lock in, say, okay, I'm pretty confident I've got the C here, or right, this is an impulse and we're going higher. We can't, with precision, to be definitive about it, you can't get there from here. You could guess. You could say, oh fuck, man, I'm a bull. I'll buy it. We tap the support here. We're stalling. Right? Okay, I'm a buyer. I don't want to talk you out of that. That's not my purpose here. I'm trying to show you how to precisely go about approaching the next long, because essentially in every video, that's what I'm trying to give you is where's the next buying opportunity. Not the next selling opportunity. Again, I am not looking to be a seller. I'm just looking for the next opportunity to be an aggressive buyer, and I don't have it yet. So the other thing to look at in here, which is pretty interesting, if I can, let's say it's here. No, I'm going to take that one off. And, oh, here, shit, I thought I had it tagged here. I think it's here. Okay, so here we're back to the ABC, the 1, 2, right? If this is 3, 4, right? So here, this is what's interesting. Now, here's the bull cap. If it's ABC, we come into the low, right? So then you might be looking here. Well, this is a couple of things happening here. Okay, so, I got to go out to the daily for you to see this. Okay, see where we are here? Right, this is the big, like potentially perfect, right? I've kind of had fun with that. 1, 2, if this is the 3 and we've gone into the 4 down here. Well, here's that center line. Boom. Right, pretty remarkable. So the confluence here at that pivot point is why this count is still very valid. Right, so I'm giving you a couple of alternatives here, and at the end of the day, I'm going to suggest that we don't have enough to warrant an aggressive buy here. So if that's all you were looking for, you can leave now. But if you're looking for a little more detail in terms of teeing this up, well, the fact that we tap this median line is of interest. Technical confluence. Let's go back to that 4-hour here. We've got the internal, right? And I'm just using the proposed 1, 2. If this, I'm just simplifying here. If this is going to just play as well, yeah, it's probably a WXY. But if it's an ABC, okay, well, is this my 3 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So if it was ABC, right, we were looking, well, there's an impulse here. Well, it certainly could be relative to the 3, 4, and the 5. But what do I do with that? Right, and that's where I was suggesting. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me the 3. Right, we had looked at that. The extension's in the 1, down for the 2, 3 shorter than 1, 5 shorter than 3. It's not a contracting diagonal because we don't overlap the 1. So I've got an impulse with an extension in the 1. 1, 2. Well, take note of this. We now deal with the time imbalance much better here. So the length of the 2 relative now to the 4 starts to feel a little bit better. Now look at how it lines up with the internal median lines. Interesting, right? Look what we just tagged up here as we hit that resistance. Now, one more little, here, we'll just draw this up again. All right, so from this pivot to this pivot to this pivot. Right now I'm right here at the 227, right? To the 2618, just a little bit lower. You can see I have an alert on that, right? So if we come down and we tap that, I want to know about it. So if this is going to come down here, we're at the 227. Okay, right? It's technical. It's to the tick. Right, we're at that median line. Well, with that, I've established that. So as a candidate here for the 4, all right, well, let's put it all together, right? Could that work, right? So for bulls, let me get this on here. So we're in between the 23 and the 38. Okay, prime zone for a 4 if that's done. Although I was just kind of dwelling on that's not a great start to go up and get that 5. But the time relationship resolves here. right? Which is the big problem on the, when we go out to the daily, right? It's the length of time is JDLR. It just doesn't look right. This, actually, we solved that a bit better. All right, 1, 2, right? There's the 3. Good. A, expand the B, down for the 4. All right, so maybe there's a little more here. So if, again, you know, there's not much of a 2, but if that's going to play like a 4 and we're going to come down one more time, okay, that would make sense. Then we'd be, no, 38. Right. And that's why I've drawn this in here. Now, one other, just to boot. Now, let me find this, because this is the kind of thing does not happen randomly. There it is. Okay, here's the wolf range on this section here. Right, wolf range, I just want the first swing. Right, that's all from the absolute low to my first pivot high. That's all I'm trying to measure here. Well, lo and behold, right, here's the range expansion to 100, here's the range expansion to 200. Now, it's within a tick or two, right? We're not to the tick, but certainly you have to look at this. Now, note, that's in log scale. 1, okay, maybe coincidence. 2, no. All right, so all we're doing is just, there's another algorithm in here, right? It's always what we're looking for with the range expansion. There's another algorithm that's playing in here, right? And so 1, 2, right? 1, right? Here would be the next level up. Now you could do, I think I've got that locked. Now you could take the expansion to the 1 and then project up, but you don't need to do it yet. So we've got this target up here. Oh, that would be a push at the all-time high, which would be kind of interesting, right? So we'd have this coming up here. If I get up here, if we're going to go challenge that high, as we come back to the median line, having tagged the lower corner at, now, right, so back to the 100, back to the 1, right, all that support. Now, if we're going to go up and get that 5, if this is it, or if it's a little bit lower, so you can see the possibility for this to come down here, ping it, maybe we come down here to some of this structure, we ping that structure, and we go up here for the 5, right? We're going to get the 300, right? This is the range, 100, 200, 300, right back to the median line. And it would fit with the Elliott count. We'd resolve the problem with the 2 and the 4. This comes down a little bit further. We'd be outside of the median lines. We could have doesn't have to break it, but you can see how if we came down right into this area. So if you're a short-term trader and you're looking for an aggressive entry, right, if I was gun to my head, next place that I had to be a buyer, I'd be a buyer right there. But I would have a stop here, right? So I wouldn't want to give it much room beyond these, because the anticipation would be this structure is going to hold. And if I'm pulling from the 2 through the 3 here, as we just had it, oh, come here. All right, I don't want to give it too much further down. All right, so because for me to go up and get that, I want that 38 to hold. So me personally, right, and if I get this, and then I come up and then I get that down, now I'm interested. Right, so maybe oh shit, it'll probably happen before then. If that's going to happen, that'll probably happen before next Friday. But for members, right, we'll be looking for something like that. So if it comes down, we complete this, and I can lean into it, and I see all of this, kind of fatten that up here as my candidate. Right, we come right into that support, and this finishes a bit more cleanly because that's not a great start. And then I come out of here with even down to a 15-minute. If I can get a little 5, now I'm interested, but I'm anticipating that we're likely, oh God. Never. Oh, let's see. Can I do it with that? Let's do it that way. Might have a little sliding parallel down here. If we're going to come a little bit lower for that down here. Right, so don't shy away from that. If we break outside of the median lines here, just running parallel here could still play ball there. Then I start to like this count a little bit more. So you're back to, oh, okay, A, B. I get to use the 5, which I'm dying to use, right? Much as I respect Laura's work over at Pure Elliott Wave, I much prefer the clean finish to the 5 here. See, this just looks so much like a 4. This, I don't think we have to struggle with the 2, right? So it's either A, B, or 1, 2. This is such a good 4, and then I can finish the 5. I don't have to truncate. Right? So I prefer that count, right? You truncate as a last resort. Like if you have to put the pivot in here, could I do it? Right, back to the triangle. If this is going to be part of a triangle, it has to be a 3. So how do I solve that? That's how I solve it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm kind of interested here. I might, right? So if I can dig a clean 5 out of that, and I get the push down, I break this low, I come into the 38, and I come right back into that structure, I wouldn't just sit there and buy it, I'd wait for the reaction. And then down on a smaller time frame, give me a little retrace. You can just, God, it's just not that complicated. Boom, right? Now I can use this as my pivot low, right? So I'm not, again, you can jab me. You're not going to knock me out. And I get that. Okay. Oh, now I'm off to something, right? Now something like that. Hey, maybe I've got the start on the 1, not necessarily the 5, right? Nothing says the 5 has to finish here, right, at the 300, although that's a reasonable target. Remains to be seen, right? So perhaps we redraw this. But right now, that's, again, these are things, they don't happen coincidentally. This is not randomness. This is what we're looking for, right? God knows how many algorithms are in here, but these leave footprints. That's why we track them. And when you see it bang 1, 2, come back here, bang it again, right? Something's going on there. Again, that's not random. We human beings, you've heard me say this before, we are not that precise because this is fear and greed. Right? When you're fearful, you don't, fuck, man, I'm not waiting until it pings the 1. You just want out. When you're greedy, you want in. Right? It's FOMO. Get me in. Right? So a bunch of people bought this, right? Obviously, right? Look at the wick rejection. But it's not a clean finish. So if you care about the precision, you're not buying that. Because that's not a good start to it. It doesn't look like it's done. Now, as I say that, of course, nothing says that it couldn't do that, right? I mean, so if you're gonna go for the precision, you risk something getting away from you, right? I mean, certainly that could happen, right? No reason it couldn't. But if I want it to be just right, and if you're patient, I try and communicate this to members in detail. If you're patient for it, right? It's like waiting for this, right? This grinding higher. Well, odds are that thing's gonna retrace, and boom, it does it all in half an hour, right? Oh God, the market's so bullish, right? Here we go. Ecuador's buying it, right? We got countries adopting it here. Bull. They bought $21 million worth of Bitcoin. What's the first fucking reaction, right? It's crap, right? So this is a good example, right? Whenever it looks easy, like it's easy money, you can almost be absolutely sure it won't be. Oh my God, we got to buy it today. Oh, shit, it was all over Twitter. They bought, I can't remember what the number was. It was like $21 million worth of Bitcoin. Well, if they're buying shit, I want to buy it, right? So there's the breakout trader, right? Buys right into the resistance, pays no attention to that, right? That's what the amateur does, right? No, man, the FOMO, I don't want to be left out, right? We're to the moon here. I've got Lambos that I'm interested in. I already have the catalog, right? So they buy right into it, right? That's all I was saying the whole way up. Well, I wouldn't buy that. So I'm not one to say I told you so, but, well, I won't finish that sentence because I don't need to. So let's see, right? This could be interesting down here. But that precision, something to be paying attention to. God, I'm rambling. Holy shit. 52 minutes. Do I cover everything? I think I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So do you see how much more bullish this? I'll finish with this. Right. If this is the count, right, and this is the 4, right? So if it's 1, 2, 1, 2, right? This is insanely bullish, right? If it's uber bull, right? 1, 2. We're not even done with the 3 yet. Right. So if we think about that. Right, 1, 2. Right, well here, right, so 1, 2. That's part of the reason we were leaning into the 3 being in here is right here. Look at the 1618, 175. Right, yeah, it gets a little past it, but not by much. Right, that was part of the reason we were leaning into that. Okay, so we go a little bit past it, but if we're going to go up and get the big 3, which Bitcoin certainly would be capable of, there's the 2618 up here over 200,000. Right, so you can kind of see how that could play. If this is the 4. Right, we're still working on the 1, 2. Put the median, oh shit, now I got to find it. There we go. Put that back on. Maybe we're up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the internal, right? These internals seem to hold it. If that's the 4 and we're still seeking the 5 of the 3, maybe something like that. Right, so then you kind of look at it and you go, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like that. Sure, a possibility. I wouldn't, right? Then we'd be right in line with these outer parallels here. That's the 85 and the 75. To stay in line with that move up here since we didn't quite make the median line off of that. All right, so I'm giving you a couple of different scenarios. My bottom line is here, I don't think there's enough reveal here yet to make a trade. I don't think there's a trade sitting there. right? And if you're of the thinking, as I am, that I'm just sitting here. What's nice about this here is that I'm just sitting here waiting for that C to come in at either 38 or the 618, right? So that's telling me, per end of this month, might be looking for the C at the 618. If we're going to keep coming lower and we're going to get the triangle, so you just kind of sit here patiently. If it rips higher, well then, okay, well now I've got alternates. I know I'm prepared for it. So I think as any good trader would do, you got to prepare for all of these different scenarios because we don't have enough yet, right? It's just a little tease, just a little tease. Okay, maybe, right? What are they trying to bait you into? Right, just a little tease. Okay, guys, God, I didn't mean to go that long, but I guess it did. So, all right, sorry about that. Hope you got some, hope a few of you are still listening. Okay, with that, guys, I'll just wrap it up here. We'll see you next week, Mondays. The live stream on alts, those seem to be going pretty well. Traditionals on Tuesday. My partner Monte Crypto on Wednesday with his very unique approach to TA. And then I'll be back next Friday. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. Take it easy.